Hello, welcome back to Reading Success Academy. I'm Paula Smith, and in today's live session, we're going to be working with some fourth grade spelling words. We're going to be looking at 7 different ways to spell the long A sound. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but we have a special way to manage it. If you'd like to follow along with this lesson, grab a piece of paper and pencil, and you'll also need some colored pencils because we're going to use the color to help us separate all those different ways to spell that long A sound. So a sheet of writing paper, a pencil, 7 different colored pencils. And if you don't have colored pencils to use, that's fine. You can always go back and use a highlighter later over the work that you've done with your pencil. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here with this list. This has 25 words in it. We're not going to go through all 25 words today, but we're going to get a good sampling of all those different long A spellings. We're using the phonographics method, which is actually a method for teaching reading, but spelling is the opposite of reading. So instead of saying all the sounds and blending them together to make a word like we do when we're reading, we're going to be taking all the sounds apart in the word so that we know what letters to write down for each sound. Now, some of those sounds have 2, 3, or even up to 4 letters to represent that one sound. And you're going to see that happening in today's lesson for sure. All right, so set up your paper so that you have all those different ways to spell long A across it. Oop, trying to get it over to the right page. There we go. All right, so across the top, and you might even want to spread this out a little bit more. You'll want to have EI with a line under it, and you can do this in colored pencil if you like. If you want to give each one of those spellings of long A a different color, that would be fantastic. It just helps you sort it all out, or you can just do it in pencil and then change colors later when we're writing the words. So EI, EIGH, AI, AY, and you're drawing a line under each one of these different spellings of long A. And about halfway down your paper, you'll do A and leave a space and an E. This represents the vowel consonant E spelling pattern. And an A by itself, and AIGH. So those are the different ways that we're going to see the long A sound spelled in this list of words. Let's go ahead and get started. Our first word is freight. So something that gets moved from one place to another, usually a large supply of something. You might have a freight train, or you might move freight by truck, or by plane, or by ship. Freight. So in this word, EIGH, all of this represents just one sound, that long A sound. So let's take our pencil here, and I'm going to grab a different mouse here. There we go. And under your EIGH column, that's where this word's going to go. You're going to start out with pencil, and I'm going to make this a little bit darker here. Start with pencil, and you're going to say each sound as you write the letters. But since you have 4 letters to make that long A sound, you're going to have to hold that sound a long time. So take a big deep breath before you start that one. All right. So we have freight. The sounds in freight are F, R, 8. Just 4 sounds, but we have 7 letters. So let's get started with freight. Say each sound as you go. Now switch to whatever color you chose for that A sound. A. And then back to pencil. And listen for that last sound you hear in freight. Freight. T, t, t. Go ahead and write that one down. And then we'll move on to the next word. Now you might be wondering, why are we saying the sounds as we write the letters? You're doing that so that you can keep track of where you are in the word. Also, whenever you use many of your senses together at the same time, it helps you learn the information faster and hold on to it longer. All right, let's move on here to the next word. All right. So now we have neighborly. Now this one has an EIGH spelling for long A as well. Since we already have a word for that, We're not going to write this one, but you can if you like later. You can always go back and watch the recording and do it. But in this word, since it has 3 chunks, we need to break it up into those 3 chunks while we're spelling it. So instead of thinking neighborly and listen for every sound in a row as we go, you're just going to do nay first. So you'll write n, a, and then you're going to listen for the next part of the word neighborly. Okay, what comes next after nay in neighborly? Burr. Okay, so then we have this spelling of right here. You'll say b, burr. And then your next chunk is lee, and you'll say each sound as you go. L, e, neighborly, neighborly. Okay, moving on to our next word. This one has an AI spelling of long A. So I'm going to grab the color that I chose for AI. I'm going to put it right up here so it's out of the way. And we'll go ahead and go to our pencil. Now you probably noticed that I have these 2 letters highlighted here. That just shows you that there are 2 letters that are working together to make one sound. It's just not the target sound that we're working on today. So I've underlined AI to show this is the sound that we're working on today, and they're working together to make one sound. These work together to make one sound. It's just not the long A sound. So that's how I use those colors. And that can help you too while you're studying your words. That's why we're putting these different colors in here so you can easily see where that long A sound is in the word. All right, so the word traipse has these sounds. T, r, a, p, s. 5 sounds. And we're going to say each sound as we write the letters. T, r, a. Holding that long A sound while you write both of those. Now, if you're working through this word and you're like, oh no, what comes next? I forgot. Well, if you've just memorized a whole string of letters, you're going to have a real hard time figuring out what comes next. But by listening for the sounds and saying them as you write them, you can check your work. You can be like, okay, so I have tray so far. What comes next in tray? Ps, p. Okay, so then we go on to your next sound and write p. And then the last sound we hear in traipse is s, and we spell it with 2 letters. So we're going to hold that sound while we write both of them. S. And then we'll group those 2 letters together just as another visual reminder that it takes 2 letters to make that sound. All right, so there's traipse. Let's move on to another word. There's another E-I-G-H word. You're probably noticing that it's very common to have E-I-G-H as a long A sound. Lots of words have that. Let's move on. Now, this is the only word that I found that has A-I-G-H for long A. There are other forms of this word like straighten or straightening, but using that base word straight, only this word has A-I-G-H for that long A sound. So once you know this one, you don't have to use A-I-G-H for anything else. All right, so find A-I-G-H on your paper, and that's where this one's going to go. Add mine up here. And we're going to go back and forth between the colors, saying each sound as we go. We have s, t, r. Now hold that long A sound while you write all 4 of these letters. A. And then what's that last sound you hear in straight? T, t. That's right. So let's put on our t sound picture. And there we go. I call it a sound picture because it's really just a picture of a sound. Okay, now we have AY for our long A sound. And again, we have another set of 2 letters that make one sound here. These 2 O's for that oo sound. So we have hooray. Or if you want to break it up and say hooray, that's okay too. And this will go in your AY column. Oh, I don't have a purple here. Let me see if I can find purple. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, A-Y, like in play. All right, first chunk, I'm going to do who and then ray. That's how I'll break it up. So one chunk at a time. Who, ooh, and then I'll group those two together. And I'll put an eye stopper here. And then I'm going to go on to the next chunk, which is ray. R, and then A, holding the A sound while I write both of them. Holding that sound while you write both letters is just a reminder that it takes 2 letters to make that sound. All right, we're going to continue on with our next word. We have a consonant E this time. And this word has 3 chunks. This is confiscate, which means to take something away from someone. So I guess this person wasn't supposed to have this cell phone in class. It was confiscated. So we're going to take it one chunk at a time. We're going to do con, and then fi, and then skate. And again, you can break it up differently if you like. If you want to do confiscate, that's okay. I'm going to put this one way over here on the side. 7 ways to spell a sound makes a very cluttered workspace. Okay, one chunk at a time. Let's do con, k, n, and then put in your eye stopper. And then we have fi, f, I, or if you want, you could do fis here. And then skate. A, t. Now I'm not going to make a sound when I put this E on here because the E doesn't get a sound. It's just there, just like decoration. It's just there to look cute, to work with the A, but not be right next to it. Confiscate. All right. Let's see what we have next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 ways to spell long A so far. We've got to come across 2 more. Okay, here's one that has A by itself. So I'm going to grab my orange here. See, I'll put it right here. I'm running out of room. Now you probably noticed I have a big red rectangle around this ending here, around shun. That is a special ending. We call it a special ending because they don't sound out just right. We don't say t-an when we get to this part. We just say shun, and it's easier to just know that whole group of letters as shun. And there's actually like 8 different special endings. I do lessons on those every now and then. In fact, maybe I'll do a special ending tomorrow for my live lesson. But when we get here, we're just going to say shun. We have 2 letters that make one sound here as well. All right, and I'm going to bring this pencil thickness down a little bit because I'm going to run out of room. All right, your first chunk is ap, so say a, p. Now you can't hold that p sound while you write both of those because that sound just kind of just pops right out. Then we'll put an eye stopper. Next chunk is le, o, eye stopper. And this is where we can go back and check and see what comes next by saying what we have so far. Apple. What comes next in application? K. K. Switch colors for that A. And then back again with an eye stopper. And then you're going to write shun here. You're just going to write shun. You're not going to say each sound because it doesn't sound out just right. And then we're going to put a box around it. And if you want to put a different colored box around it, you can. That might help stand out to your eyes so you remember, oh yeah, got to remember that special ending there. Let's see what we can come up with next. Another E-I-G-H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need that 7th way. Oh, there it is. E-I. So we need an E-I column. If I squeeze it over here, I think I will. E-I So this word is rains, reins, like you might use to guide a horse. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker again. There we go. So listen for each sound as you go. Reins. R. A. Underline that A. And then listen for the next sound you need in reins. Rains. Reins. There we go. 7 different ways to spell the long A sound. It's a lot. I know. So that's why we have got them sorted out by different colors. And also we have grouped together any other pairs of letters that make one sound so we don't forget those when it's time to spell these words. So sorting them by color, underlining those different spellings will help bring your eyes to the most important part that you need to remember on each one. All right. Now, like I said, there are 25 words in this list, and you can have the rest of this list and all the worksheets that go with it. Just reach out to me at hello@readingsuccessacademy.com, and I'll be happy to send those your way. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you know when I go live next, and you can do another lesson along with me. We'll work on a new special ending tomorrow for our last live class of the week. And you can always go back and find recordings. I've been doing these for about a month now, so there's plenty of those different spelling classes that you can practice your spelling with. I'll see you next time. Bye.